Good afternoon, and welcome to Everybody, the podcast which shares stories that highlight people in life that make the world an interesting place, which ultimately ties us all together in unique and wonderful ways. And who am I, you might ask? I would be the head wrap socialite, wife, mom, micro influencer in the fashion and etiquette world. But on this podcast, I will be introducing you to some people who I've had the opportunity to meet along my journey, who have helped enrich me and my life in beautiful ways, and who I hope will do the same in yours. Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Everybody. Today's special guest is Kevin James. Kevin and I had a wonderful conversation about life and where it has led us, which I will share with you in a future podcast episode. Today's interview picks up mid-conversation in the midst of laughter and friendship. I truly hope you enjoy today's episode. For those of the listeners who don't know who Kevin James is, and we just went right into our conversation, I want to give my Kevin his props on this episode of Everybody. Kevin is not only a good friend of mine and my family for over 32 years, but he is an industry professional in the field of hospitality with more than 20 plus years experience. He's also the founder and executive director of the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival. And like I said, he is somebody who has been in my personal sphere for almost my whole life, because I'm going to say that I'm only 35. Not really, but yes.
That makes me sound like I'm older than you. I don't know, but I'll let you finish. But it seems like I'm like substantially older than you or something. I don't know.
And Kev, I just want to turn the floor over to you and just let the listeners know who exactly you are.
Well, first and foremost, Trina, thank you for allowing me to join the podcast. I think you're doing an amazing job of just being creative and also just inviting some of your closest friends or folks that you've known over the years into the space just to have conversation, which is good. Mm-hmm. But also meaningful conversation. You know, you and I see when we go back many years at Johnson Wales University in Providence, have been, good friends over those 30 plus years. You say 32, I say 22. I don't know. But professionally, I've been in Atlanta for, I think, over 18 plus 20 years. Like, I'd stopped counting, but my background, to your point, is in hotel management and different roles within the hospitality industry. And, of course, and then in terms of leading and directing with the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival, which is fun. It's every July, big event here in Atlanta, based on the premise of bringing families out for a good old-fashioned fun day at the park, centered around America's love for ice cream. Mm-hmm. But certainly, I'm excited to join the podcast with you. This is fun.
Thank you, Kev. And can I just ask you just a couple of quick questions, if that's okay?
Absolutely. Sure.
How did the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival come into being? When did it become your brainchild?
People always ask me that, right? And I think sometimes they're looking maybe for like this heavy answer. Mm-hmm. And really, so there's a few different prongs to this. Okay. I have a culinary background, hence the Johnson Wales University. And also I've majored in hotel management and have been in the hotel and hospitality space for a long time. Mm-hmm. So being in Atlanta, working in that space and having a culinary background, I wanted to create an event in the city of Atlanta that really encompassed and focused on bringing families to the park. Mm-hmm. And knowing food, people always love food, but knowing ice cream is America's number one dessert, and knowing here in Atlanta it's hot in the summer. Mm-hmm. And lastly, July is National Ice Cream Month. It kind of all laid it out for me. It's like, wow, okay, family-friendly event, popularity, marketing piece, the month, July, and we selected the fourth Saturday, which has been the fourth Saturday for the last 11 years, although this is year 13. Okay. It originally started out in September, just because it was a date. It was a date thing of let's get the date, put it in motion. Right. And then from there, it's always, since 2010, it's always been in July in Atlanta.
How long did it take you to go from that idea that you had to actually putting it into action?
So that's another interesting. So I wrote the initial plan for the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival was written back in 2008. I sat on the concept for 2 years.
Wow.
And because being a transplant, not from Atlanta,
Okay.
working in the industry here, there was a financial concern. You kind of become your biggest critic of, well, I'm not from here. This is not my hometown. I don't know people. Who's going to come to this event? It's just my brainchild, something I'm thinking of.
Right.
And I sat on the concept 2 years.
Wow.
And I kept on building it just for 2 years. And then one of my good friends, she, just reminded me like, KJ, just do it. I said, well, and every year I come up with another excuse. And then the last excuse I had was, I don't have $100 because my kids were younger at that point. And, it's kind of, tough. I said, I don't have the money and I don't have the $100. And then I don't know what the overall cost would be, although I had some of the numbers already kind of forecasted. And then I attended Word of Faith, local church, Bishop Bronner. And I remember he spoke to a message of, you don't have to have a lot of money to do what God really wants you to do. And I thought about that. You don't have to have a lot of money to do what God really wants you to do. And in my Bible, because this is back when people had the physical Bible, I started writing out the business plan in church right there. What's the top things? What the top things that I need to do? Boom, 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 boom. City, county, vendors, ice cream shops, boom. And I was just on a roll. Wow. And from there, it propelled me into, it's time. Wow. So in 2010, I filed the first application with the city of Atlanta, the mayor's office of special events, for permits to have the event. And the first year we had about, I planned for 500 people and about over 1,000. So maybe 1,200 people came. Wow. I had really 1.5 ice cream vendors out of 10 total vendors. And now if you fast forward into 2022, we had 130 vendors. Oh my goodness. 70% ice cream of those vendors and tens of thousands of people that come. So certainly, from concept to just do it, put it in motion and continue to tweak it. I love it. It reminds me of this quote by Sun Yat-sen. I believe that's how you pronounce the name. But the key to success is action. And essential in action is perseverance. And that kind of just made me think of this quote because you put your plan into action, right? You saw the plan, you nudged it into action, and you didn't stop until it became an actual thing. If you could give one piece of advice to somebody who was looking to put together something that they have in their mind and they might think there's no use for this. I don't think I can do this. What would you tell them? Wow. What would I tell them? Someone that's maybe on the cusp of knowing that this is something they've been called to do. Yeah. Well, I would say this, and I tell friends, those that are on the fence, this frequently. If God gave you the vision, you got to do it. You got to do it because it was a vision. And also don't expect anyone to co-sign your vision. Amen. God gave you the vision. You got to do it. And don't expect anyone to co-sign your vision because it's not their vision. Right. Half the times, all of these brilliant ideas, people will say, what? They don't grasp the magnitude of this. Because God did not give that to them. Oh, I like that. When I started writing the plan for the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival, when I had to begin, this after paperwork was in with the city, and I had to go to the local planning units, neighborhood associations. And I started speaking about this new idea of an Atlanta Ice Cream Festival. So many heads will be spinning, like an ice cream festival. Now, 13 years in, as I'm returning to most of those same neighborhoods, speaking about what the plan is, right. And they're so supportive because they've seen it, they've experienced, they've heard the concept, they've seen it tweak and be refined over the years. And it still has not changed. It's still focused on families coming to a park for a good old fashioned fun day. And it's free to get in. You just pay as you go. I love it. It has not changed. Yeah. So you have to. So if God gave you that vision, you have to run with it. Otherwise, you could take it with you. Meaning to the graveyard. You could take it with you. Hold on to it, pack it up, put it in a nice little lunchbox. Right. And take it with you. And I love that too. I actually wrote that quote down and I'm going to stick it on my vision board. If God gave you a vision, you have to try and fulfill it. You have to. You have to. And it's one of those things too, when you had that calling within you, were you ever able to rest until you actually got your vision
out to the masses of where you felt God was pulling you to go? Was there always like that tug at you? Come on, Kev. Come on.
Wow.
Kev. Come on, Kev.
Trina, you're going layers deep. I'm not resting yet. So I look at it like this. Okay. When you think about this event and the masses that it reaches and the opportunity, because it's a platform to really touch families from all walks of life, all socioeconomic backgrounds. I don't rest because I know there are still more families that need to be reached.
Oh, I love
and that doesn't mean like 100,000 people, and it just means there's more families that need to be reached. Although they may be coming for ice cream, coming because we have some local entertainment on stage or something they're personally affiliated with, whatever. There are more people that we can reach wherever they are. There's a major focus of the festival focus on wellness. So people are like, how you have ice cream wellness? It's easy. People have French fries and fried foods and all cupcakes and pies. And we all know that those are probably not as good as eating a carrot stick, right?
Right.
But you're going to have what you want. So the philosophy in the curation of this event is people are coming for ice cream.
Right.
But the reality is people don't really consume a whole lot of ice cream.
Right.
They're coming because of the marketing and the fun of this XYC event, which is coined Ice Cream Festival. But while they're there, that's when it's our opportunity to serve them things they can really use throughout the full year.
Wow.
So it's an intentional focus on wellness. While they're coming for the excitement, the energy, the draw, the deliciousness, the popularity of ice cream. Because we have a lot of vendors that are offering free screenings, free materials, free follow-ups, things like that from a wellness space. We have a wellness zone. Yeah. So my thought is trying to be non-traditional with that. Again, this is all part of this. So when you ask about me resting, I can't rest. I can't quite rest right because there's still more people that have to be reached.
I love it. And what spoke to me as well when you said that more people have to be reached, what you're providing for the community is you're that connecting fiber that links the community into something deeper than what we all even know. If people want to become sponsors of your event, they want to help out or donate, how do they go about doing that?
The easiest way is to send us an email.
Okay.
Which is 2023. So it's 2023 at AtlantaIceCreamFestival.com.
Okay.
In terms of the website is the name of the event, AtlantaIceCreamFestival.com. On all the social handles is at ATL Ice Cream Fest. Or simply if you just type in any Google situation, Atlanta Ice Cream Festival, you will certainly come across a lot of information and images that have been captured from the last couple of years about the festival, just to show the scope, the reach of the festival.
I know that I've looked at your pictures that you've had on the social media handles, and I see just tons of smiles.
Yes.
And tons of ice cream. And what type of ice creams are there at the festival?
There's all kinds in the world of dairy, non-dairy. So of course your traditional ice creams, like made with cream, all deliciousness.
Okay.
All kinds of those brands. And 95% of the vendors and sponsors are from within the state of Georgia. So these are all local businesses for the most part. But even in terms of the non-dairy, we have a host of vegan ice cream vendors or non-dairy. And I tell folks all the time, if you have not tried non-dairy ice cream, you'll be pleasantly surprised that you cannot tell the difference. In fact, you may even think that non-dairy or vegan with the creamy deliciousness of coconut cream ice cream, to think that that's more flavorful than your standard ice creams. Yeah, it's super creamy. And again, it's non-dairy. But once you infuse that, mix it with all your favorite toppings and that stuff, I think oftentimes you won't even realize that it's non-dairy unless they actually told you.
Oh my gosh. Well, can I tell you, as an ice cream connoisseur, I cannot wait. And my mouth is like seriously watering because I will get my pint of Ben & Jerry's cookie ice cream. Love ice cream. So I cannot wait to come to the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival and experience not only just the whole milk dairy ice cream, but I'm looking forward to trying some vegan ice cream surprises.
And I would tell you also, and this is where the marketability and marketing and unique ways ice cream is being served today. Mm-hmm. Rolled ice cream. Oh. So that's essentially where you have these cold plates.
Oh, yeah.
Sub-zero plate, and you have cream, and you're laying this out on this cold slate and rolling the ice cream into rolls.
Oh, my God.
So it's a texture thing. So that way, when these rolls are staying up in a cup, you're using a spoon, so you're eating, and you have the layers of the ice cream as you're tasting it. And it's normally topped off with whipped cream or whatever the theme is for that flavor. Oh, and then also liquid nitrogen ice cream. So I think it freezes in like 15, 20 seconds. So typically you go into the store or at the festival, they'll have these huge liquid or nitrogen tanks, and they'll have these metal bowls. Oh. And whatever your flavor is or choice, they're putting in the bowl and they're whipping it. And 15, 20 seconds, it's done into your cup with toppings, and you're gone. And also because it's, summertime, that liquid nitrogen kind of feels good.
Oh, yeah.
Now you have this cool breeze coming out of this tent, part of why they're typically so popular.
Oh, my gosh. Kev, I cannot wait. I'm trying to take the calendar now and rip off the calendar days. Quickly, July comes. July can't come fast enough.
July 22nd, all day. People ask why we only have it one day. Mm-hmm. Because the vendors typically sell, distribute, get rid of everything they have in one day. So that's why we don't have 2 days, because, again, mom and pop shops,
right?
They probably are emptying out their stores to bring it all to the park for this event that's celebrating their feature product. So they typically close the stores down or put a skeleton crew back at the storefront.
Okay.
But most do not return back to stores with product because people are coming to the park. It's certainly an event that every year when we have, whether it's ice cream eating competition or just little fun activities, it's good to see the smiles, the laughter from the kids to the college students to our aging population. They're all out there having fun.
I love it. Thank you so much for being that connecting fiber that link the community into something so much more deeper. And I just want you to know that, again, I cannot express to you how much you and your family mean to me. And I am grateful for the gift of friendship that God has allowed us to have over all of these years. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. I love you.
And the feeling's mutual. Thank you for thinking of me when you're putting together your next guest. I absolutely appreciate it. This has been fun.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful cup filling day to my soul. And I also want to say to you before we go, Kev, congratulations to your Philadelphia Eagles for becoming the NFC champions. Hello.
Oh,
what?
Let's go, Birds!
Fly, Eagles,
fly! Those Philadelphia Eagles are just, you think they're on fire. Talk about when you're planning for overcoming adversity.
Yeah.
And nothing replaces hard work.
Amen.
I put it on social the other day. Nothing replaces just putting your head down and grinding. There's nothing. You can look for the easy, quick ways for success. Mm-hmm. Or you can learn from maybe the things that didn't make you so successful, and just continue building it. Because if you take one brick at a time,
right,
it's gonna get together. Like the team, we took some losses over the last couple of years, but yet you keep on building. And sometimes you have to knock it down.
Yeah,
it's okay. Sometimes you have to restart, reload. Sometimes it's okay.
Exactly. And this is one of those moments where the rebuild was put into motion many years ago, and now they're on their way to the Super Bowl, baby.
To the bowl! Oh, yeah. Those Birds are going to the bowl.
Billy in the house.
Yep. Up against the Chiefs, which should be an interesting Super Bowl. But I feel confident. I feel excited. Can't wait to watch the game.
Any predictions?
Oh, well, I certainly believe that the Eagles are going to win.
Okay.
I do think
I'm with you.
I don't think it's going to be much. I think it's going to come down to kick. The the kickers.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a 3-point spread. If I had to think final score,
yes,
maybe I'm thinking that 24-21.
Oh, I love it.
Or that 27-24.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think in the 20s, because I don't think it's going to be a super high scoring game. Because you always have a lot of pumping stance that goes with Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it's 3 hours long. But I do think I'm thinking 27-24 or 24-21, and Eagles on top.
I'm with you. I'm going to go with your prediction.
Yeah.
Being a Philly native, I'm going to say yes. The Eagles are going to pull this. The Eagles are going to pull this out, and I am looking forward to Rihanna's halftime experience.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
I cannot wait.
She is performing halftime. I'm sure it's going to be great. It's always a big time. So I'm sure within those few moments on stage, I'm sure they're going to have all kinds of artists coming through and high energy. It has to be high energy.
Yeah,
which is good. But certainly, I think Eagles are going to take it. And just think, they already started greasing all the poles in Philadelphia, so they're prepared.
I love it. My brother was out on South Street with my little nephew Otto, and there's nothing like us Phillies fans. We are like the best fans. Not to take anything away from anybody else.
Right.
There's no other fans that can compare to a Philadelphia fan.
Win, lose, or draw, we're still going to talk trash. We're still talking trash.
Exactly, because that's how we roll.
I mean, because you got to be committed.
We're all in all the time.
You got to be committed. I mean, if you're not going to be fully supportive,
yes,
then no, this is not the band to get involved with. You choose another team.
Exactly.
Because this is one that you're going to bleed green. Okay, well, you're in there.
That's right. Choose wisely.
And then so this time after we win the Super Bowl, I'm strongly considering returning back home for the parade because I missed 2017. So this time, I think this may make sense for me to be home for the parade. It just seems appropriate.
And on that note, we out of here.
Philly in the house, go Birds.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
On the road to victory. Fly, Eagles, fly. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit low, hit 'em high. And watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly. On the road to victory. Everybody, E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles. Woo! Now we're ready to go play now. We ready.
We're ready.
and everyone's probably disconnected from the podcast.
Like, we didn't sign up for this. We didn't know there was going to be singing involved.
Go Eagles!
Eagles, let's do it. Thank you, Uncle Kev. I love you so much.
I love you too. Take care.
Okay, you too.